first thing I did was I took these off, these power bands, and I just measured. I labeled one side A and one side B, and I just measured this. It's measuring 3 inches, 961 thousandths. Turn it 90 degrees, I get the same measurement. Now what's interesting is I flip it over, and I measured this side, and it measures about 9 to 10 thousandths smaller. That's strange. And what I'm measuring is this edge right here on both ends. This edge actually has nothing to do with the sealing area. It's this groove right here and this groove right here that these bands ride in. I measure these grooves, they measure the same on both ends. I measure here, they measure the same. Let me check that. That one's measuring at 60. Let me go ahead and check that. That one's measuring at 51. Again, that's 3 inches, 951 thousandths. This one's measuring at 60 to 61. Again, that's 3 inches, 961 thousandths. So if I measured this area, that's measuring 3 inches, 951.52 thousandths. And if I go down here to this lower area, this area more toward the center, which is this surface right here, still has nothing to do with sealing. It measures the same. Now if I flip it back over to side A, I'll take the same measurement. It's measuring about 10 thousandths larger at both of those increments. That one's about, yep, right at 10, 9 to 10 thousandths. Again, I'm measuring here and here, and then flipping it over, measuring here and here. These power bands ride here and here. Those measurements measure the same. Whether it's here, that's measuring 3 inches, 748 thousandths. 3 inches, 748 thousandths. And I've checked all this with a micrometer. I've got my mic out here. I've been checking all this stuff. And this is what I come up with. So I started playing around. I took these bands, just throw them back on here. So I took these bands, I took the cylinder, and I just said, okay, side A, how does that fit in the cylinder? And I just kind of stuck it in there just to get an idea of the fitment. You know what I did do is I did lube it. Put a little oil. I'm going to lube the bands. Okay. So what I did, I just took side A. I'm going to stick it in there. And side A, it goes in. It's tight, but I'm able to walk it out with relative ease. You know, it does get a little cocked in the bore, but it does come out. Now if I flip to side B, so side B is down, and I slide this in there, first off, I immediately notice it's a little tighter to get it lined up, and it slides in. But now go to get it out. It comes out, but not nearly as easy as side A. I mean, side A, I can just feel it, and it's hard to show feel on a video. I understand that, but measuring that difference really has me wondering, is this piston, measuring the difference really has me wondering, was this piston incorrectly manufactured? So what is my next step? Well, I got a second piston. These are made by the same company. So I just pulled it up on the bench. Measured that, it's measuring 3 inches, 961 thousandths. Measuring the same. So for whatever reason, this piston, I don't know if it got built on a Friday or a Monday, but it's measuring 10 thousandths smaller on side B than it is on side A. If you're curious, here are my measurements for side A and side B. I took them at 4 different locations and noted the values, measured these with a micrometer. And then this was a lower section where the band rides. I measured it on side A and side B. You can see those are different as well. So, all has me to believe that this piston was manufactured incorrectly.